Welcome to Steel Football Complex at Mississippi State. I'm Bob Garskadden, and this is Mississippi State's newest strength coach, Anthony Piroli. Coach Piroli, welcome to town. Welcome back to town, I should say.
I appreciate it, Bob. Thanks for having me on here today, and luckily I have a little bit more of a voice to do this interview after a pretty rough first week here with the guys.
Yeah, I'll give you a little behind the scenes on this interview. I actually supposed to do it a few days ago. Lost your voice in workouts with the guys, which I'm going to take as a good sign, I think.
Yeah, I think it was all a very positive thing. We just happened to play a little bit of loud music around here, so we kind of just have to coach over top of that. No negative reasons behind losing the voice.
I like that. Well, let's talk about you working with the guys. Obviously, you are a huge part of the program, and I think people who know college football know how important this position is. Now, I'm curious for you, what's sort of your big picture philosophy, your approach working with these players?
First and foremost, just like you alluded to in the beginning there, coming from an NFL background, one of the things that I guess you could say I missed was actually the collegiate setting. You really do get a lot more time and a lot more opportunities to develop these players through the years that you know that you're going to have them, the time that you're going to have them in the off season. We're just looking to make better football players out of everything here, not necessarily looking to make a guy look good in the mirror or make a guy bench press or squat something that he could do in a competition, but at the end of the day, are we making them a better football player, or at least helping bridge the gap between the weight room and the field for the position coaches so that they can then do their job?
I like the sound of that. Now, as you mentioned, you were in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals the last several years. I'm curious, what kind of things were you able to learn there that you can sort of bring back and apply at this level at Mississippi State?
The greatest thing that I saw there was that even at the most elite level, when you're really putting the best product out there on the floor, and what I mean by that is the training program itself is as individualized as possible, and the players start to actually see the benefits on the field, that they're willing to do anything for you. So it doesn't take a lot of twisting of the arm at that point in time, because at the end of the day, all these athletes want to be better at their sport. And if they're starting to see those results happen faster and faster in that realm, that's pretty much taking care of all the other things that you would normally have to see coaches who have to be cheerleaders per se.
I like that. So for you, obviously, long career, you've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of us know you were at Mississippi State in 2014, one of the greatest seasons MSU has ever had. One of the interesting things to me that I think a lot of people don't know is that career as far as you go back. Joe Moorhead's been tracking you for a very long time, and in fact, when he was the head coach at Fordham, he's mentioned that nearly hired you to go there before you ended up going to Arizona with the Cardinals. But what makes him a guy you want to work for, and what makes Mississippi State sort of place you want to be?
I think Coach Joe and I are kind of cut from the same cloth. Just hardworking, blue-collar type guys from the same area, different towns in Pittsburgh, but ultimately the same area, probably the same type of upbringing in our family situation. And the beautiful thing is I basically told him right after he got this job that was probably one of the things he would like most about the players I know that are in this program, is that's exactly who they are. I know it might be the South and people might not see similarities between Steel Country up north and down here, but that's what I see in these players whenever I was here last, and I already see it now. As one thing you don't have to teach Mississippi State football players is effort and how to work hard, because these guys go a million miles an hour all the time, and any coach, strength and conditioning coach or head football coach that can walk into that situation is blessed.
So going forward, as we mentioned, obviously a very important time for a program right now before spring ball starts. What are some of the goals and things you want to accomplish between now and then with the guys?
Our job as a strength staff, as a sports med staff, as a football coaching staff, is to sit at the table and come up with the single best solution for every player on the team so that we can maximize their potential. A lot of the things that we're already adopting that we think are going to benefit the team across the board is a style of conditioning and speed work that we're doing with them, as well as the different mobility work that we're doing with them. I think that the players as a whole are really enjoying that already, and it's really just getting started. We're at the base level of that. We plan on continuing to roll that out in spring ball, and once spring ball in May ends, when we get into our summer training, taking that up a level again.
One thing I've been wondering about, I saw a video, it's something to do with a draft. I have no idea what's going on, but it looks like it's about to be entertaining. What's happening with that?
Yeah, so you know, it's nothing new to, I think, college football, but making a team of teams within these programs is what we are essentially doing, but we kind of let the players themselves have full ownership of it. So we got captains across the entire team picked based on position group, and they're essentially the head coach, the GM, all in one. It's just a good way to allow these captains, per se, to grow into better leaders. And that's really what we want across any team that we're coaching, is just to have guys that can lead and other players that are obviously going to try and elevate their game based on that. So with that being said, everything's scored in our program, in the weight room, academically, recovery-wise, and beyond that, people will also compete in their teams. Once we get to a team competition phase in late February, twice a week, they'll be with their teams competing against all the other teams for the duration of the spring.
So it's going to be a fun spring, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so.
I like the sound of that. Yeah. Well, Coach, I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you coming to chat with us. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on hailstate.com. Make sure to follow along at hailstatefb, Twitter and Facebook. We'll have plenty more from Mississippi State football as the spring rolls along.